Hello, today I want to talk about failure. And the reason I want to talk about failure is that I've realized that for many years, somewhere deep, deep inside, I hated failing. And I hated failing so much. I found it frustrating and it would stop me from doing the things I wanted to do, or it would put so much stress on me that I would kind of postpone doing something if I knew failure would be involved, or the possibility of failure would be involved. And it actually stopped me from learning new skills. So I think it's an interesting topic. Let's put it that way. For some reason, and I don't think it's only me. I think you or someone you know might be the same. We think failure is bad. And yet we can't succeed at anything without the possibility of failing or without failure. In fact, there's a quote that I really like, and it says, a master has failed more times than a beginner has ever tried. And I love that quote. It talks to me because I wish I'd known that before. I remember when I was younger, I went to learn piano. I think I would have been about 9 or 10. And I was praised at the beginning. The teacher really liked how I was learning. But when it got a little bit more serious, I had to be obviously told that I was doing something wrong, that I was playing the wrong note, that I didn't have the right rhythm. And I hated it. It put me off totally of wanting to learn, because I just didn't want to be criticized. I didn't want to do anything bad. I just wanted to do it well. Nobody had taught me to fail. I don't think people teach you. I mean, you don't learn this at school. At school, they teach you how to succeed. They teach you how to do well. They teach you the value of success. But they don't teach you the value of failure. A failure really is as good as success, not in terms of, okay, let's go and fail at this, not like that. But it's so intertwined with success that we have to recognize its value. In fact, I remember I read a story or heard of this story of a mechanic who who fixed or prepared a bike for a race. And he did something wrong, and which resulted in the driver or the biker to have a bad accident and end up in hospital for 6 months to a year or something like that. And when the person came back, when the biker came out of hospital and he was going to go back to racing, he went to that mechanic and he said, I want you to look after my bike. And the mechanic was puzzled. Why are you asking me? I was the one that put you to hospital, so to speak. And the biker, and I believe a very, very wise man, said, you know the cost or the price that you have to pay if you make a mistake. You know how it feels. So you're going to be much more likely not to make a mistake again. And I think here really it shows you the value of failure. I don't know when and at what point in our psyche, or some of us in our psyche, failure becomes a bad thing. Because as toddlers, we know its value. We not discouraged by it. We walk when we want to learn to walk. We walk, we fall. We walk, we fall. We walk, we fall. We cry, we walk, we fall. We cry, or sometimes not cry. But that crying, that upset, is not so bad that it stops us from carrying on. But as adults, we stop. Well, I know I did. Many times I stopped because that was it. I mean, no point. And I'm talking to you now as an ex-perfectionist, as somebody who used to look at this as a horrible thing. And I realized that I used to be put under a lot of stress because I hated doing something wrong. And I remember when I was doing I was preparing for a dance meditation workshop. And I learned the value of failure as a general. I think I saw it, maybe I saw it for myself for the first time. Not failing myself, but I generally saw how valuable it was. Because I was looking online to see how other people were doing their dance meditation, how they were leading it. And I saw two sets of people. I was two sets of people. Those who inspired me, who I wish I could lead it like them. People like Gabrielle Roth. Their passion would come through. The words that they would say during the workshop. It would be amazing. And then I would see other people who, if I had led a class like that, I would have considered it a failure. Because there was nothing, it was, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it definitely wasn't how I wanted to do it. And I must say that for me, the group that were doing it in a way that for me was bad, or a failure, so to speak, they gave me a lot. They gave me encouragement, they gave me confidence, they gave me reasons to do it. I thought, well, maybe, if I do it badly, maybe I'm not gonna do it as bad. And so I kind of made peace with my own failure, the possibility of my own failure, because I thought, well, if I do something that is not so good, that could be considered as bad, for me a failure, somebody else might get encouraged to do it better. So in a way, my failure could be an inspiration. Well, brilliant. Bring it on. Now, going back to what I said earlier about my learning piano, I actually now know why I hated being told that I was playing it badly. Every time the teacher would say, no, not like that. Every time my heart would sing, the emotions inside, there would be so much going on, because I didn't see that it was the playing of the note that was wrong, that I was failing at that. I saw myself as a failure. I identified with the task in front of me. And I think that's huge. When I managed to unclick these two, myself and my action, myself and my skills, when I managed to unclick it, I think it gave me freedom. Because the action can improve. The skills can improve. I can learn all the time. But myself, the whole being, it can stay untouched. I had difficulty when I was younger, because when I was about 16 or about that age, I really saw that every single one of us was a masterpiece. Beauty is in every cell of our bodies. The fact that we can talk, that we can act, that we can move. I used to look at my hands in awe. Wow. Well, I hadn't done anything. It wasn't my doing. But it was the result of life, I don't know, evolution, the universe, creation. Beautiful. And then I couldn't really bring that perfection, which I had nothing to do with, and marry it, integrate it with that, which is my action, or my behavior, or my skill, or whatever it is that I'm here to learn, or that I want to learn. But I now know that these two, the perfection of who we are as being, is separate from the fact that we are work in progress, because we're learning all the time. So we can be the masterpiece of the universe and work in progress at the same time. And we don't have to confuse the two. One of the other things that came to me was failure often becomes a frustration. For me, it became a frustration because I wanted to learn it. I wanted to do something or learn to do something faster than it was time. It takes time. So frustration and getting stuck in it only stops us from moving forward. We learn, we fail, we carry on. And I think that's just that cycle is constant. And that cycle, it goes with everything. Everything that you want to improve about yourself. It's if you think I'm back to square one because you're learning and then you fail, and at the point that you fail you think, oh, I'm back to square one, and you kind of flop here. No, you carry on, you keep going because you're never back to square one. Never. What you have put behind you is part of you. It's not gone to void. It's gone into every cell of your body. So I think we get frustrated because we think this process should end. It's work in progress, forever and ever. We can learn and perfect whatever it is that we're learning or trying to do. Thank you for watching.